ZANU-PF has never won an election. It is known that since 1908, it is believed that even Ngomo.
Hello viewers, welcome to yet another edition of The Agenda with me, your host Razaurizen. With me today in the studio is our last Maengahama, Secretary for Policy and Research in the MDC Alliance. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for the invite.
So here with me, last Maengahama is a former political prisoner in Zimbabwe, where he was wrongfully arrested and sentenced to 20 years behind bars. Fortunate enough, he was acquitted and he managed to save 8 years. We will discuss the journey through the trials and tribulations, the hardship he faced whilst he was in prison, the current situation, and the plan by the MDC Alliance as we head into the election campaign. So, Mr. Maengahama, initially when you were sentenced to serve 20 years for the wrongful arrest in the murder of that police officer, which despite the state being given evidence to show that you were innocent, how did it feel?
It was a very disappointing experience. I did not expect to be convicted. I did not expect that our judiciary would sink that low, because it was very evident that I did not commit the crime. The evidence was there before the court, but they went on to convict us. So it was very, very disappointing.
So when you were given that sentence, what was going through your mind at the moment?
Well, at the first days of my conviction, as I said, I was disappointed, and at one time I was angry and I had some bitterness, but it only happened in the early days of my conviction. Then a year later, I think I managed to accept that whatever happened, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. So I regained my hope, and I was hoping every day that one day I'll be out.
Okay. Again, when you were acquitted, how did it feel when you received the news that you had been freed, you were going out?
I was very elated. I was very grateful to the grace of God. Something that I was hoping that one day God would answer our prayers, and that was a prayer answered.
Okay. So what kept you going during those trying times when you were incarcerated?
Well, it was God. A prison is a hopeless situation. A prison is a hopelessness situation. You know, the first thing, when you enter into a prison, you risk losing hope. You risk losing yourself. So without God, it may be a very difficult situation for you even to maintain your stability in the mind. So I owe credit and give all the credit to the Lord for sustaining me.
Okay.
Yes.
We hear of the bad state of our prisons here in Zimbabwe. Maybe in brief, can you take us through the challenges that you faced as a political prisoner during your time in?
Well, the conditions in prison are very bad. They have reached the highest stage of composition. Everything has collapsed. Everything that the prison should be providing to prisoners, they are not able to do that. In fact, the prison system is just a reflection of what is obtaining in our economy, in the country as a general. So can you imagine the extent to which people are suffering out of the prison? In prison, that will be 10 times. So basic things that is a right that every human being should have, in prison they are a privilege. Things like water, things like blankets, things like where to sleep, things like clothes, they are not available in prison.
The prisons initially are supposed to serve as a rehabilitation center for inmates, so that when they get out, they are reintegrated into the society well. when you were in prison, did it feel like it was a rehabilitation center, or did it feel like it was a torture chamber?
Well, it's unfortunate that our prison system is centered around punishment. So it's a punitive and punishment system. There is no rehabilitation. So people are being punished and punished and punished. That is why the rate of reoffending is high. People are just being hardened, and when they get out of the prison, they become hardcore criminals. There are no programs put in place to ensure that deliberately the system is rehabilitating the prisoners. There's nothing in place.
Okay. We hear of different types of experience when someone enters prison. Did you at any time feel like giving up when you were incarcerated?
No, I think hope is the last thing to lose. No matter what the situation, no matter what the challenges, no matter what you are going through, you can lose everything else, but you should not lose hope. So I did not lose my hope, and I always had a hope that one day I would be out.
And how was the reintegration back into the society when you were released?
Well, I am happy that at least some friends, some colleagues, and some relatives, they managed to accept me, they managed to embrace me, they managed to be there for me when I was released.
Okay. So maybe to dive in now into the mood that Zimbabwe is currently in, the election mode. As MDC Alliance Secretary for Research and Policy, what have you planned, and what is your party's position heading into the campaign?
Well, to begin with, I think the economic situation, I found it even worse when I come out than before. So it means our economy is deteriorating every day. The extent to which people are suffering is just growing every day. So as MDC, we are the only party that is there as an alternative government to make sure that we transform our economy, to make sure that there is prosperity as a country, to make sure that there is stability in the currency, to make sure that there is employment, to make sure that we restore Zimbabwe to its position as the breadbasket of Africa. So we are there to offer policies that are pro-poor, policies that are going to make Zimbabwe one of the best country in Africa, if not in the whole world. So we believe that our policies should be bottom-top approach. We are not there to impose what we want to the people, but we just play a facilitative role where we allow people to say how they want to be governed. So people, they do know how they want to be governed. Those vendors, those rural people, those makurokoza, those anamawindi, and so on, don't look down upon them. If you ask them, they have answers for the challenges that we are facing as a country. So our approach as a party is to go to the people, to the grassroots, to the branches, and to create platforms where people freely express how they want the economy to be addressed, how they want this country to be taken going forward. So our role is just to technically collect those views, but we allow the people to speak. So our policies are people-driven, our policies are grassroots-driven, our policies are brand-centered. It is the people who speak. I don't believe that policies should be crafted and formulated in a boardroom by the elites, but the people themselves should craft and formulate those policies. That is our approach. That approach is anchored on our ideology as a social democratic party. We are different from ZANU-PF. When they are formulating their policies, they are informed by power retention agenda. Everything about their policy, they must ensure that at the end of the day they're in power. We as MDC, we are there to serve the people. We are there to bring about Zimbabwe for the future generation. It's not about individual, it's not about us, but it's about the future. So our policies are tailored to ensure that we achieve that.
Okay. So Emerson, ZANU-PF president, or rather the president, Emerson Mnangagwa, predicted a landslide victory come 2023. As MDC Alliance and as the Secretary for Research and Policy, is this a good prediction by the president to say come 2023 we have already won the elections? What's your take?
Well, it's just politicking. ZANU-PF has never won an election. It is known that since 1980, it is believed that even Ngomo won that election. So that's not a serious statement. He cannot win even a council election in Mnangagwa.
Okay, so heading into the election, are you yourself going to contest? And maybe in what capacity?
Well, in MDC, it's not about positions. It's not about being a councillor. It's not about being an MP. It's not about being a mayor. It's not about occupying a senior position in the party. But it is about serving the people. So I'm available to serve people in whatever capacity I am deployed. So it is not for me to decide, but it is for the people. Wherever they want to deploy me, I am their servant. I'm available.
Okay, so maybe people will want to know that besides politics, what else does last Maengahama do on the side?
Well, I'm a businessman. I had a business before I went to prison, and when I come out of prison, I also started establishing one or two businesses because my former business was facing some challenges. It's still there, but as you may be aware, I opened a bookshop, which is called Enga's Bookshop.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm into business.
Okay. Mr. Maengahama, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, you're welcome.
So there you have it, Zimbabwe. Mr. Last Maengahama speaking to us about the challenges he faced whilst he was in prison and about his reintegration, the MDC Alliance party position and campaign strategies as we head into the campaign year ahead of the 2023 election. For more, follow us on our YouTube channel, Facebook page and Twitter. Thank you for watching.